So in the last session, we have discussed about this sharing concept, and we have discussed what exactly the sharing, how many types of sharing mechanisms are available, we have discussed, and how can we share the record to the users, okay, we have discussed theoretically. And we'll see the practical part today here, okay, now. So whenever I'm making my objects OWD as private, at that time, if the user has created a record inside the object, then the record will be getting visible to only two people here. One is the owner of the record. Second one is the manager of that owner here. That means the owner of the record and his manager will be getting the access of that record here. Both the people will be having the full control. But the other users inside my organization, that means the people who are in the same hierarchy or the people who are in the below hierarchy of that user, that may be the subordinates, that may be the siblings also. Those people will not be able to access the record here. Only the record owner and his manager will be getting the access over here. Other people will not be able to access. So if the record is not visible, if the record is not accessible by the other people, then how can we make our record to be get visible to the people? How can we make my record can be accessible by the other people also? At that time, Salesforce has given a feature called as sharing feature. With the help of this sharing feature, we can share the record to either a single user or multiple users also. Okay, we can able to share the record visibility to a single user or multiple users also. Depends upon your requirement. So in this case, whenever you are going to be sharing the record to either one or more number of users, we have multiple mechanisms are available. Like we have manual sharing feature, and then we can use automated sharing feature. We can use Apex sharing feature also. With the help of these three mechanisms, we can able to share the record to one or more number of users. Now, how can we share the record manually? With the help of sharing button. With the help of this sharing button, we can share the record to one or more number of users. Upon sharing the record to the people, we can able to specify what level of access those people can have on your record. That means whenever I'm sharing my record to that other people, then as a owner, I'm having the full rights on that record. Like I can view the record, I can modify my record, I can delete my record, I can share my record if it is required. Then, if I'm sharing my record to that other people, then what operation those people can perform on my record? Will those people simply, they can see the record, or will those people can modify my record, or what? We can able to grant the permission with the help of level of access here. So that here we are having two levels of accesses we can provide to the users on the record. One is read only, second one is read write. Read only option will be granting only the read only permission. Whenever am I sharing that record to that particular user, at that time, if I'm selecting that level of access as read only, then that person can able to access my record and just he can see my record, that's it here. He can't modify, he can't delete my record. When he try to modify my record, when he try to delete my record, Salesforce is giving the message insufficient privileges. You don't have the rights to modify that record. You don't have that rights to perform that operation which you are trying to do right now. Okay, so that here Salesforce is preventing that operation over here. Okay, now then how can we perform this operation? We'll see practically. And now here I would like to dig into the concept also here. I want to go back to that programming part also over here. Okay, now, so the complete process we'll see. Okay, now. So now let's see in this case, how can we share the record to the people, okay, manually by using that sharing button here. How can we share the record to a single user, we'll see first, and then how can we share the record to the multiple user also, we'll see that next scenario here. Okay, now, let's see the practical part over here. Now, so let's take a small use case. Now, so I'm not giving the theoretical notes because everything have documented inside your hard copy. Okay. Now this diagram also is available inside your hard copy itself here. The complete information is there. Now, in this case, Now just make one note point over here. By using sharing feature, we can share the record to either one or more users inside the organization with the required level of access. With the required level of access, we can able to share the record to that users. To whom you want, we can share the record also. That possibility is there. If the record is not visible, then only the sharing concept will come into the picture. If the record is visible to everyone, then there is no need of sharing. No need to share the record. Because the record is a public record, everybody is able to access that, so that no need to share the record explicitly. Okay? Now. Then how can we share the record to the single user? Now let's see practically here. Sharing record to a single user. Now, then how can we share the record here? We'll see practically now. Take a small use case here. Create an account record by logging with the development user account. Okay. Create an account record by logging with the development user account and share the record to manage a user with read-only access. With read-only access. So this is my requirement here. So as a development user, I would like to create an account record inside my account object. And whenever I'm creating the record, then I will be able to access that record because I am the owner of the record. And along with that, my manager also will be able to access my record. But the other people will not be able to access. Then, how can we make my record to be get visible to the manager user with a read-only permission? Okay, now let's see. Now, done? Now let me explain here. So this is my role hierarchy. So this is the role hierarchy that we have. Now, development user is creating a new account record over here. Now that record will be visible to whom? The record will be visible to whom? Development user and along with that training batch user. Only these two people can able to see the record. Because here as a owner you will be having the full rights on the record. Along with the owner, your manager will be having that full rights on your record. But the other users, okay, like the manager user will not be having the access, customer user will not be having the access, testing user will not be having the access. But now, once a record has been created by me as a development user, I want to share my record to that manager user also with a read-only access here. Only I would like to grant read permission over here, not read write. Okay, only read permission I would like to grant. Then how can we do that and how can we test it? We'll see practically here. Okay, now tell me what we can do in this case here first. First of all, as a step one, we have to log in into the development user account here. And then as a step two, create one account record inside your account object here. Next, third step, we need to share the record to that manager user over here. Okay, share the record to that manager user with a read-only access here. As a step 4, we have to test. Okay, we have to test it whether manager user is able to see the record or not. If he is able to see, then at that time, just he should be having only read-only permission, not read-write permission. Okay, we have to do the testing. Along with that, I want to do negative testing also here. Might be my record may be accessible by that customer user or not. I would like to cross-check that. At that time, customer user should not be able to access my record. I would like to check with the testing user also whether he might be able to see my record or not. That person should not be able to access. Only myself, my manager, and the manager user. Only these three people will be having the access over here. From these three people, development user will be having the full control, training user will be having the full control, manager user will be having read-only access. Okay? Clear? Now, let's see how can we implement this functionality now. Let me give that step-by-step approach here. Now, if you know one use case, then remaining cases are very, very simple for you. As a step one, log in into the development user account. You know how to log in into the development user account over here just by using login option here. Step 2, create an account record inside the object. Next, as a step 3, share the record to manager user with read-only access. Then how can we share the record? Okay, I will show you practically over here. So now I would like to go with that manual sharing over here. Okay, now how can we share the record manually with the help of what? Sharing button. Okay, now in this case here, open the record to be get shared. Click on sharing button. Click on sharing button. Click on add button to add the users to whom you want to share. Select the share with option from the pick list. Select the users to whom the record to be get shared. In this case, I would like to select that user as manager user. Select the account access level from the pick list. I would like to grant only read-only access so that I'm indicating that read-only. And then click on save button. This is the navigation process in order to share the record over here manually by using that manual sharing. As a step 4, text the record. Test the sharing process over here. In this case, I would like to go with that positive testing and the negative testing also. Log in into the manager user. List out all account records from the object. Observation. The newly shared record should be visible to the user. Negative testing here. Try to edit the record, edit or delete. From manager user. And the observation should be, it should display the message insufficient privileges. insufficient privileges. Second case, log in with other user accounts and verify or search for the record. And the observation, the record should not be visible to the users. Okay. Both positive testing and negative testing we have to do. If you know one complete process, then remaining processes will be very simple for you. Security is very, very important. And that too, it is purely practical. And that too, it's a bit typical. That means they are not complex. It's purely logical thing. The people might be getting confused. Okay? If you do the practice, then you can understand more. It's a very easy topic generally, we can say. So let's go with the practical part now. So in order to implement this use case, my requirement is, as a development user, I would like to create a record, and that record will be visible only to me and my manager by default, because we made that object OWD as private. Now, I want to make my record to be get visible to the manager user also. For that one, I would like to use sharing mechanism. So as part of sharing mechanism, now I would like to use the manual sharing here. With the help of this manual sharing mechanism, I would like to share the record to that manager user with a read-only access, and then I would like to have the testing process also. Okay. Now, first of all, I would like to log in into my account, and I would like to create a new account record inside my object here. So let me go the step-by-step approach here. I would like to log in into that development user account. Log in into the development user account by using this login link. Click on this login link. Log in into the development user account. I would like to create a new account record right now. Go to the accounts. See what account records are visible to him. He is able to see only one record, that is called as role hierarchy test account. Why the record is visible to him? Because he is the owner of the record. Okay, he is having that full permission on this record right now because he is the owner. Now I'm creating a new account record over here. Click on new button to create a new account record. I would like to create a record, manual sharing test account. The type of the record account is prospect. Industry I'm indicating like as finance. Annual revenue some value. Rating I'm indicating as hard. Phone I'm giving some value. Fax I'm entering some value. Website I'm giving like a gmail.com. Ownership some public here. You can give any value over here. Ownership value, whatever you want. Customer priority I'm giving as high. Active status I'm indicating as yes. I have entered some value for this particular record over here. Now, it's not mandatory to enter the value for all the fields. Just you can enter the value for name field, you can create it, no problem. Okay? Now. So now here we are creating the record here. Now click on save button. As soon as once you click on the save button, my record will be getting created successfully over here. Now, I am the owner of the record. Here it is indicating clearly I am the owner of this record. So as a owner, I will be having full control. Like I can see my record also, I can modify my record also. Like here, just click on edit button, we can modify the record values also. If you don't want this record, then you can remove the record also from your organization. From your object remove, you can remove this record also over here. Not delete button here. We can delete the record also from your object if it is no longer required for you. Okay. Just now we have created the record right now over here. Now, I haven't shared the record as of now. Let me verify first whether manager user is able to see my record or not. Let me verify first, then I will come back and I will share the record over here. Okay. Now. So now I am going to be coming out from this user account. Login as a manager user now. This is a manager user account. Let's go to the account object here. Get all the records. Now tell me whether he is having access on any of the records as of now. No. So he is not able to see even a single record also. Because he don't have the access on those records. Okay. Now, in this case, this person is unable to see any of the record over here inside my account object here. Okay. Now, whatever the record right now I have created, that record is not visible. Why? Because that object's wordability is private. So that private is going to be making the record to be visible only to me and my manager over here, not the other people inside my organization. Okay. So customer user or the manager user or testing user, these people will not be able to access my record because here those people are purely my subordinates and my siblings over here. So that those people will not be having the access on the record. Now, I want to share my record to that manager user right now with read-only access here. How can we do that? Now, let's see. Let me log in into my development user account now, because as a owner, I am going to be sharing the record here. Go to that account object, open the record which you have created just now. Now, you will be having that button called as sharing button. So now we can able to share the record manually also here. Manually, I am going to be sharing the record with the help of this sharing button. Click on this sharing button. Okay, click on this sharing button. Now it is indicating currently who are all the users are able to access your record here. Okay, currently who are all the people are able to see your record. It will be indicating clearly over here. Now here in this case, it is indicating right now a user is able to access this record. This is the record name. This record can be accessible by only this particular user right now, because this username is user development. So what is the level of access he is having? Full access. Why he is getting the full access over here? The reason is owner. He is the owner of the record here. So he is the owner of the record, so that he will be having full control on this particular record over here. Okay. Now, along with me, that means as a development user, I want to share my record to that manager user also. How to share? Then at that time, we can able to add the users to whom you want to share the record here. Click on this add button in order to share the record to the people. That means add the users to whom you want to share the record over here. Now, click on this add button to share the record here. Whenever if you want to share the record, you have to select that share with, to whom you want to share the record. Upon sharing the record, Salesforce is giving that 4 mechanisms over here. Okay. We can select the recipient people in 4 ways. One is we can share the record to a specific user, or we can share the record based on the role. Suppose, for example, if I'm sharing the record to a role called as vice president, then in that role, who are all the people are available, all the people will be getting the access over here. Okay. Next. Third one, roles and subordinate over here. That means what? Upon sharing the record, if I'm selecting roles and subordinate, so at that time, if I'm giving the role called as vice president, in this case, if I'm sharing the record to that roles and subordinates of vice president, then in that vice president role, who are all the users are available, everybody will be getting the access over here. And for that vice president role, if there is any subordinates are available, those people are also will be getting the access over here. Okay, only to that role users or to the subordinates also we can decide. Or else, in my organization, I'm having some thousands of people are there. I don't want to share to all. I don't want to share based on role and subordinates. I want to share to some 10 people over here. So those people, we can make it group over here. Okay, whatever the 10 people to whom you want to share the record, we can make those people as a group. To the group of users, we can able to share. That's what here Salesforce is giving that 4 options to you here. Whenever we are sharing the record, we have to select these options over here. Okay, we have to select. We can share the record based on public group, based on role, based on roles and subordinate, based on users. Okay, now, in this case, to whom you want to share the record now? Manager user. Manager user in the sense what? What we can select in this case? User. Simply select that users. Once you select the user, whatever the users are available inside my organization, all the users information will be getting populated over here. Now to whom you want to share the record now? Manager user. Select that manager user over here, share with. I would like to share the record to that manager user here. Okay, I'm sharing the record to that manager user. Now, then what is the level of access you would like to grant right now? On my account object, I want to grant the level of access as read only. You will be having two options are available, read only or read write. Now I would like to grant read only permission over here. Select that option read only. Now click on save. That's it, done. Automatically Salesforce will make this record to be get visible to that other people also. That means what? User development will be having the full control. Manager user is having that read only access. Why he is getting the access over here? It is giving the reason because manual sharing. Manually we have shared the record to that user. That's why here he is getting the access on the record also. Okay. This is the way we are sharing the record over here. Okay. Clear? Now. So now open the record to whom you want to share. Click on sharing button and then add the users to whom you want to share the record. Upon sharing the record manually, we can share the record based on owner, so based on the user, based on role, based on roles and subordinates, based on public groups also. Based on these 4 ways, we can able to share the record here. Okay, now. So now as of now, we have shared the record over here. Okay, we have shared the record. Now, I would like to go with the testing the process over here. Whether that manager user is able to access my record or not, I would like to cross check that. Now, let's come out from this user account over here. Now, what we can do now? Which user account I would like to log in right now? Manager user. Click on login. Now, currently I am in the manager user account. Go to that accounts tab. See all the records here. What records he can able to see? He is able to see my record or not? Yes. Okay, manual sharing test account record is visible. Now the record is visible to him. What are the details that have entered? All the values are available over here. Now tell me, will this person is able to share your record? Why? He is having just read only access. So that sharing button will not be visible over here. Now will this person is able to modify my record? No. When you click on this edit button, he will be getting the message, insufficient privileges. You don't have the rights to modify this record. You are just having that read-only permission over here. Okay? Now, click here back, go back to the page here. When you click on this delete button also, he cannot able to remove my record because he is not the owner. I am the owner of the record. As a development user, I am having the rights to remove that record. Other people can see my record. Other people can modify my record. But those people are not having the rights to remove my record. Always a deletion record permissions will be available at that owner's hand. Only the owner can remove that record over here. Okay? Now. So now we can able to come back to this record over here. So that this is a way we can able to test that here. That means what? We can able to do the positive testing. Log in with the manager user, we can able to see whether the user is able to see my record or not. And we have verified that negative testing also over here. Now, I would like to go with the second case of negative testing. Might be not only this particular manager user, other people may be able to see my record. I would like to cross check that. Okay. Now, let's come back from this user account. Log in with that testing user. Because testing user is one of my subordinate over here. As part of my role hierarchy, testing user is one of my subordinate over here. I would like to cross check whether my subordinate may be able to see my record or not. Log in with the testing user, go to the accounts, let's verify whether he is able to see my record or not. My record is visible? No. Subordinates can't able to see my record over here. Let me come out from this user account. Let me verify with one of my sibling, like the customer user, whether this other person is able to see my record or not. I would like to cross check that. Log in into the customer user, go to that accounts, let's verify the records here. He is also not able to see my record. Only myself, my manager, and along with that we both. So now manager user is also able to see my record. He is having only read permission. Okay? Clear? This is how we are going to be sharing the record to the people manually, and then we can able to test this process with both positive and negative testing also both. Okay? Clear? Now. Hmm. We can see that. So whenever I'm sharing that record, if it is a parent, okay, on that parent, if the reason child records are available, those also will be getting shared automatically. Okay. Now, the next one. Let's take one more use case here. As of now, what we did, as a development user, I have created one account record, and then that account record I have shared to that manager user with a read-only permission. But now, what I want to do is, the same record I want to share to the testing user with read-write permission. Is it possible or not? The same record I want to share to my subordinate here. To my subordinate testing user, I would like to share the record with read-write permission. Is it possible or not? Yes. Okay, it is possible here. Now let's take a use case here. In security, each and every functionality, I would like to go with the use case format only. Okay, so that we can understand more. So that we can do the practice also. Second use case. Now, share the above record to the testing user with read-write permission. Okay. Share the above record to the testing user with read-write permission. Share the above record to the testing user with a read-write permission. The same record I want to share to that other people as well here. With a read-write permission. Different permission I would like to grant. Now, so now let's see practically. So in this case, what we need to do? Now tell me the steps. Log into the which user? Development user, okay. Go to that object, okay, whose record you would like to share. Open the record which you want to share right now. So this is the record we have created and we have shared the record to that, the manager user as of now. Open that record. As of now, we have shared the record to the manager user. Now I want to share the record to the testing user also with read-write permissions. Click on sharing button. Now what we can do? Add button. Then to whom you want to share right now? Users. Select the option as users. Once you select that users, whatever the users are available inside the organization, all the users will be getting visible over here. To whom you want to share? To the testing user. Select that user as testing user and select the account level of access. What level of access you would like to grant? I would like to grant read-write access. Now select that access level as read-write and click on save. Now observe this one here. In this case, what will happen? Okay. Records are how many here? Only one. Users are how many? Multiple. Level of accesses are what? Different here. Now in this case, when coming to the sharing mechanism, we can share a single record to the multiple users with a different level of accesses. No, record is same. Record is not different. Record is same. Users are many. Development user is having full access. Manager user is having read-only access. Testing user is having read-write access. Because here manually we have shared the record to these two people, and then development user is having the full permission on the record because he is the owner of the record. Okay. Now, in this case here, with the help of the sharing mechanism, we can share the same record to the multiple people with a different level of accesses. Okay. Now, in this case, what will happen here? How can we test this functionality now? Testing user will be getting what kind of permission on my record? Read permission and edit permission. Will that person is able to delete your record? No, he can't delete that. Let me verify that. Test the functionality. Now log in with the testing user. Previously, testing user is unable to see any of the record here. Now he would be able to see my record over here. So now I have shared the record to this person. Open the record. Now he is able to see my record. He can able to modify. But he can't delete. He can't share my record to the other people. So that sharing button will not be visible. Now click on edit button over here. Once you click on edit button, he can change my record values also. Edit. We can able to modify the rating value from hot to warm. He can able to modify my record because we have granted read write permission. But when he try to delete that record, he can't remove. He will be getting the message insufficient privileges here. If I am granting read only permission, the people can just see the record. If I am granting read write permission, they can see, they can modify my record, but they can't delete, they can't share my record to the other people here. Okay? Clear? Now. So now here in this case, okay, now here in this case, by using that sharing mechanism, we can able to share the record to one or more number of users with different levels of accesses over here. Record will be only one, but the level of accesses are different. Okay? Now. Clear? Now. So this is the way we can able to share the record manually to that users here. Okay, to a single user. Okay? Now let me dig into the concept here. This is the actual process the people will show generally. Okay? Now let me dig into the concept here. Sometimes in the entry point of view, they will raise a question. I have a record. That record is accessible by so many people. Okay? So many people are able to see. That means since almost 6 months I am using that record. 6 months back I have created the record. That record I have shared to so many people as of now. Okay? I have shared that record to so many people. Then who are all the people are able to see my record right now? I want to cross check. How? How do we know who are all the people can able to access this record here? Simple, straightforward. There is sharing button. Simple concept. Okay. If you want to see who are all the people are able to access this record, simply go to the record, click on sharing button. Once you click on sharing button, it is listing out these are the various people who can able to access your record right now. Okay. These are the various people who are able to access your record right now. We can able to cross check this information very easily. Okay. These kind of questions are very, very common in the entry point of view. Okay. If you want to know, okay, who are all the users are able to see your record, who are all the users are able to access your record, simply just to open the record, click on sharing button, it will be listing out. These are the various users are able to access your record, and this is the permissions they are having right now because of this reason over here. Okay, because of this reason. Okay, clear? Now, in this case here, now I want to go back to that, the object level over here, where this sharing information will get resides. So when I click on the sharing button, it is showing some records information inside my table right here. It is showing some sharing information on my records, right? Now, this sharing information is storing somewhere, right? Okay, this sharing information is storing somewhere, right, inside some tables. Then what are those tables over here? I want to know. What are those tables here? I want to cross check that. What are those tables, okay, which will be using by Salesforce to store your sharing information? Now in this case, for example, when I click on this accounts, when I click on this go button, it is collecting the records here. Okay, it is collecting account records over here. Now tell me in this case from where it is collecting the records over here? From which object? Account object here. Because all the account records are there inside the account object, when you click on go button, it is collecting that account records over here. Okay. Now, for example, when you click on this contacts tab, when you click on this all contacts, then it is collecting what records? Contact records. From where? Contact object. Like the similar way, when you click on this particular record, when you click on this sharing button, it is collecting some data. The data is getting visible inside my tabular format here. Then from where it is collecting this information? In which object this sharing information will be getting resides? So in this case, when coming to the Salesforce, for each and every object, whatever we have in your Salesforce organization, it may be standard, it may be custom object, whatever here. For each and every object, Salesforce is maintaining a share object by default. For every object, Salesforce is maintaining a share object by default here. In that share object, it will be storing all the sharing information. Whenever you are sharing the record, that sharing information will be storing inside that share object over here. Now those share objects are different objects are available. For every standard object, there is a share object is available. For every custom object, there is a share object is available here. For every object, you will be having a separate share object will be available to you over here. Okay, then how those share objects will be getting visible over here? Okay, so what will be the names of those share objects? Now let's see practically in this case here. Okay, now let's make a note of this information. Note. By using sharing feature, we can share a record to one or more users with a different level of accesses. By using the sharing feature, we can share a record to one or more users with a different level of accesses. Now, all the sharing information or sharing details will get resides inside the share object. Inside the share object. Salesforce provides a separate share object for each standard and custom object available inside the organization. For each and every standard object, for each and every custom object, Salesforce will provide a share object by default. Those share object names will be looking like this over here. Now, the object name and the corresponding share object name. You will be having that account object, contact object, opportunity object, lead object, case object, campaign object, and I'm having my customer objects are also available. Custom objects, customer, position, loan. Like that, here will be having so many objects are available. For each and every object, Salesforce is going to be providing a share object by default here. Salesforce is providing a share object. For the account, it is providing a share object called as account to share. This is a standard object maintaining by Salesforce internally here. For contact, contact share. For opportunity, opportunity share. For lead, lead share. For case, case share. For campaign, campaign share. For customer, customer underscore share. For position, position underscore share. For loan, loan underscore share. Like that here, for each and every standard object, for each and every custom object, Salesforce is providing the share object by default here. In these share objects, the sharing information will be getting resides. That means all the account records, the sharing information will be storing inside account share object. Opportunity records, the sharing information will be storing inside opportunity share object. My case object sharing information will be storing inside case share object. Like that, for each and every object, it is providing the share object automatically by default by Salesforce. Now, then how can we track this information over here? Through programming. That means through some queries, how can we track? Let me show you practically in this case here. Now, for example, account share object here. So what this object contains? This object contains all the sharing information of your account record. That means whatever the account records are available inside the object, to whom this records has been shared, that whole sharing information will be storing inside that account share object. That means what? Account share object contains the details of the account records which has been shared to the people here. Only account record sharing information will be available inside this account share object here. It contains all the details of the account records which has been shared to the users. Whatever the account records you have shared to the people, those account records sharing information will be available inside your account share object. That means object means what? Table. If it is a table, definitely it will be having some columns, right? Yes, it will be having some columns also. Then what columns are available over here? I will show you practical scenario of account share, and for the remaining objects you can able to cross check that very easily. The first field is account ID field. So now this account ID field will be holding the ID of the account record which you have shared. Okay. Now it contains the account record ID which has been shared to the user. Okay, which has been shared to the users. Second one. Account access level field. So now upon sharing the record, what level of access you have granted? That granting, that thing, but that access level information is storing inside that account access level field. It contains the level of access has been granted to the user on the record. Then what level of access you are granting to the people over here? Read only and read write. If he is a owner, then he will be having what? Full permissions over here. In this case, it will be having some options are available here. It is having some options. The first one, read. Read means what? It will be having read only permission. If you are granting read only access, inside this account access level field, it will be having the value as read. Second one, edit. If you are granting read write permissions, then it will be indicating like as edit. Third one, all. That means what? Full permission. That means owner. If he is the owner, he will be having the full permission over here, which is indicating with the value all. Next, the third column here. ROCAS. Okay, ROCAS. That means why the people are able to see this record here? Because we have shared manually, or it may be owner of the record, or it may be that automated sharing also we have done. Okay, to indicate that information. That means why these people are able to access my record? What is the reason? To store that reason information. That means what? This reason information will be storing inside a column called as ROCAS. And then this account access level information will be storing inside that the column called as account access level column. The record ID, whatever the record you have shared, this record ID will be storing inside a column called as account ID column over here. Okay, now ROCAS. It contains the sharing reason. Okay, it contains the sharing reason why the record has been shared. Like for example, owner, manual sharing, or sharing rule, like that. It will be having that option here. This is the third column, ROCAS. And the fourth one is user or group ID. That means to whom you have shared the record. You have shared the record to a user, or you have shared the record to a public group. If you have shared the record to a user, what is the ID of that user record here? If you have shared the record to a public group, then what is the idea of that public group? To store that information, it is using that column called as user or group ID. In this case, it contains the user ID or public group ID to whom the record has been shared. Okay, to whom the record has been shared. Suppose, for example, if it is starts with 005, that means what? What object record here? User. If it is starts with 00G, that means what? Public group. Okay, public. These are few columns which are important over here. So let's go with the practical part. How can we cross-check this information here? Okay, I would like to query this information. So what is the record that I have shared? This is the record, manual sharing test account. What is this record ID here? When you go to the URL, you will be having the record ID is available over here. This is the record ID here. Okay, copy this record ID. This will be available inside your URL. Based on this record ID, I would like to query the information here. How can we query? Let me show you practically here. Just you can go to your system administrator account here. Go to the developer console. Go to the developer console. From this developer console, we can able to track. How can we track? Let me show you. Just to go to the tab bar which is available inside the developer console editor. Sometimes the tab bar will be in the collapsible mode. Don't worry about that. Just you can expand this tab bar over here. In this tab bar, you will be having a tab called as Query Editor tab. Okay, click on this Query Editor tab. Type the query over here. I'm preparing the query. I would like to get the account ID, okay, which has been shared to the user, and then I would like to get the account access level. I would like to get the row cause why the record has been shared to the people, and the user or group ID, the nothing but to whom the record has been shared. I'm getting the information from account share object here. Okay, I'm getting this information. Once you click on this execute, it will collect all the account records information, and it has been indicating that to whom you have shared the record over here. But I don't want all the records information. I want only that record which we have shared right now. So that I'm adding the condition where account ID equals to, I'm pasting the ID which I have copied over here. Whatever the account record you have created, that account record ID I have copied over here, that account record ID I'm pasting inside this. Okay. Now click on execute button. Once you click on execute, for this account record, whatever the sharing information is available, that sharing information will be getting visibility. Now in this case, this is the record here. This is the ID of the record here. What is that record ID? What is this record I want to cross check? Just double click on this one, copy this record ID, go to your Salesforce instance, please verify here. Place your ID here. Remove that URL, whatever we have, place the URL up to ap15.salesforce.com/ and then paste the record ID, press enter. We can see the record here. My record is manual sharing test account record over here. This is the record. Now, to whom we have shared the record over here. Now it is indicating that. Now it has granted that all permissions here. That means full permission. To whom? This is the user here. Now tell me, these are users or these are public groups here? Users. How do you know these are started with 005? Okay. Record is same, but we have shared the record to the 3 people over here. This is the record ID. Record ID is same. The same record we have shared to 3 people over here. For 1 person, we have the granted that all permission. That means full permission because he is a owner. Now this user will be having read permission. That means only read only permission here. Why he is getting the access? Because he is a manual sharing. This user will be having the edit permission over here because here he manually shared the card. Then who is this user? I want to know that here. Then what we can do, just you can double click on that, copy that user ID, Go to your Salesforce instance. After ap15.salesforce.com/paste.record ID here, press enter. Now we can see that. That user is nothing but a development user. So now development user will be having full permissions over here. That because here he is the owner of that record over here. Okay, he is having that full permissions. Next, the second user I would like to track. Copy the second user ID here. Now, let's place the URL. Second user is manager user. For manager user, what is the permission we have granted over here? Read permission. Third user is copy that user ID, paste inside the URL. Who is that user? Testing user. For testing user, what is the permission we have granted? Edit. That means read, write permission. This is how it will be tracking this information. As soon as once you click on sharing button, okay? As soon as once you click on that sharing button, open the record. Once you click on the sharing button, now this button is going to be connecting to this particular table. From this table, it will collect the whole information. This information will be getting visibility inside this table. That's it. Okay. This data is coming from which object? Account share object here. Okay. Whatever the details you have indicated, this whole information is going to be collecting from the object called as account share object over here. Okay. This is how Salesforce is implementing the functionality over here. Okay, clear? Now, understood the concept here? Now, so this is the query we have used over here. This is how we can able to track the information internally. Okay. These account share objects are very, very useful when you go to the topic sharing concept. Okay. So this is the way of sharing the record manually with one user. Okay. As of now, we have shared the record to only one user as of now with manual sharing mechanism. Next, the second mechanism here. Share the record to multiple users. Now, here you can able to raise a question. So, how can we know what are the columns are available inside my account share object? How do you know the columns of a table? View fields, but this account share object is a system related object here. This will not be visible to you in the user interface. From where we can see? Simply go to the developer console here. Go to your username, expand it, click on developer console. In this developer console, go to the file menu. You can tap left corner, you will be having file menu. Click on open because I want to see something. What do you want to see? I want to see the objects information. Click on open. Once you click on open, it is populating that a dialog box. In this dialog box, in the left panel, you will be having the entity types. What kind of component you want to see? You want to see the classes, you want to see triggers, Visualforce pages, components, objects, or what? What you want to see? I want to see the objects here. Once you click on these objects here, it will be populating all the objects available inside your organization over here. In your organization, whatever the objects are available, all the objects information will be getting populated over here. From this one, select the object name. Which object information you want to see? Account share object here. Just to go to that account share object. You will be having this account share object, just a double click on that. Once you double click on this, it will be indicating what columns are available inside your object here. Like as account ID, user or group ID, account access level, opportunity access level, case access level, contact access level, row cause, okay, is deleted, the whole information will be getting available here. Okay, here we can able to verify the columns information also, whatever you want. Okay, clear? Understood the concept here? Now, the next one, how to share the record to the multiple users here. Okay, now let's see practically. For example, I have a record. Okay, I have a record. So I would like to share the record to the users. Okay, I would like to share the record to the users. To whom? To not to all the users. Assume that here I'm having, okay, all these people are there here. Okay, we are having some 100 people. From these 100 people, to 8 people, I want to share the record here. Okay, to 8 people, I want to share the record. Then how can we share the record to the 8 people here? Some 8 specific people are available to whom I want to share my record. In this case, whenever you are sharing the record over here, for example, I'm sharing the record 1. Okay, record 1. At that time, select the people over here to whom you want to share. Like as a person 1, person 8, person 7, person 12, person 56, person 34, person 91. Like that, here we can able to select the people to whom you want to share. In this case, here I'm going to be selecting some 6 people to whom I want to share the record. Okay, now, next one. I have one more record also here. Record 2, second record also. I want to share this record to the same people over here. Then what we can do? Again, we have to select the same people over here. I'm having one more record. Record 3. Okay. So now I want to share to all the same people over here. In this case, here I'm specifying this information. But upon selecting this one, I forgot to select one user 34. Then what will happen? That person will not be able to access your record. But I don't want to do those kind of mistakes. Here, I'm selecting some 6 users every time, like as user 1, user 7, user 12, user 56, user 34, user 94. Like that, I'm selecting each and every user one by one, one by one, one by one. If the number of users are more to you, to whom you want to share the record, then it will take more time to select each and every user by searching from that list. For that one, instead of selecting these users manually by my own, what I want to do is, I would like to group these users over here. Okay, I would like to group these users. Okay, I would like to group these users over here. So now once the users have been getting grouped, then share the record to that group itself. Whenever I'm sharing the record to the group, automatically each and every member inside the group will be getting access on my record over here. Now tell me, in this case, sharing the records in the form of a group is easy, or sharing the records by selecting each and every person is easy to you now? Group is very easy. Like for example, come to a general scenario. Assume that today is a new year. Okay, January 1st. So I want to send some new year wishes to all my friends, my colleagues, my relatives, my family members also. So all the people's mobile numbers are there inside my contacts list, inside my mobile. Now in this case, I'm having almost 200 contacts are available inside my mobile. So now, which includes my family members, my friends, my colleagues, and my relatives. Everybody is there. Everybody's contact numbers are there inside my mobile. If I'm sending that New Year wishes message to each and every person one by one, one by one, one by one, it will take some minimum 2 hours of time. Okay, it will take minimum 2 hours of time. For that one, what I want to do is, instead of sending that SMS to each and every person one by one, what I want to do is, I would like to divide those people to the various groups. Like I will create a group like as a family members group, friends group, colleagues group, relatives group, and then we can add the mobile numbers to that group over here. Once the mobile numbers has been added to the group, whenever I'm sharing that, whenever I'm sending that message to the group, automatically all the group members will be receiving that SMS notification automatically by default. Like the similar way here also, whenever you are sharing the record to the multiple people, don't share the record manually by selecting each and every person one by one. Okay, make those people as a group. That group is called as a public group in Salesforce. Okay, that group is called as a public group in Salesforce. Then what exactly a public group? Public group contains what? A set of users. Okay, public group contains a set of users or a group of people, a group of members available over here. Okay, now, for example here, come to a general scenario. Assume that. So I'm having a sales team. Okay, in my sales team, we are having some group of people are available over here. Like we have some user 1. User 2. User 3. 3 people are there here. I would like to group them over here. So for that one here, I'm going to be using a group. Okay, these people has been grouped. Now these 3 people are my sales team over here. So now they are having my sales team. These are the sales team members. Like as one of the representative. User 1 is one sales representative. User 2, user 3. These are all our sales representatives over here. So now this is my Hyderabad sales team. This is my Hyderabad sales team. In my Hyderabad sales team, we are having 3 sales representatives are available. Okay. Now, I want to share the record to these people over here. Then what we can do, create the record, whatever we have. Okay. Create the record. Create the account record and then share that record to that public group over here. We can share the record to this public group. Share the record to this public group here. Okay. So now when coming to my organization, not only the Hyderabad sales team, we are having Bangalore sales team is also there. Okay. We have Bangalore sales team is also there. We have Chennai sales team is also there. We have Mumbai sales team is also there here. These are the 4 sales teams are available right now inside my organization. When coming to my sales department, we are having 3 different multiple locations over here. Now we are having the Bangalore sales team. We are having Mumbai sales team. We are having Chennai sales team. These are the sales teams are there. Now, in this case, what we can do? Now I want to share the record to all the sales teams. What we can do? I need to share this record to the sales team also. I need to share this record to the sales team also. I need to share this record to the sales team also. Okay, for all the sales teams, I would like to share the record. So whenever I'm sharing the record to the Hyderabad sales team, then all these 3 people will be getting the access on the record automatically by default. If I'm sharing the record to this Bangalore sales team, these people will be getting the access here. If I'm sharing the record to the Chennai sales team, these people will be getting the access over here. Like this here, if I'm having some 100 sales teams are there. In every city, we have a separate sales team. In Pune, 1 more sales team. In Mumbai, 1 more sales team. In Kolkata, 1 more sales team. In Cochin, 1 more sales team. Like that, we are having so many sales teams are available. Then in this case, selecting all the sales team is very, very difficult. Then what we can do in this case here, instead of going to be sharing the record to each and every sales team separately, what I want to do is, simply here. In this case, I would like to create 1 more group over here. Okay, I would like to create 1 more group. I'm creating another group over here. Like Asia Pac sales group. I'm creating an Asia Pac sales group over here. Okay, Asia Pac sales group. In this group, I'm going to be adding all these members. Each and every group I'm going to be adding over here. Okay, each and every group I'm adding inside this. Now, whenever, if you want to share this record to all the groups, then what we can do? To whom do we need to share now? We need to share the record to each and every group separately, or can I simply share the record to the Asia Pac sales group here? Asia Pac sales group. So whenever I'm sharing the record to the AsiaPac sales group, now this AsiaPac sales group is having internally subgroups are available over here. It will be sharing the record to each and every member inside the group also. That means in one shot, we can share the record to all the sales team members over here. That means what? When coming to a public group contains a set of users. Along with that, it will be having some subgroups also available inside this. Okay. Public group contains some set of members, and along with that, this public group will be having what? Some subgroups are also available over here inside this. Okay. So in this case, simply we can say, when coming to the public group contains a set of users. Along with it will be having some subgroups also. Some users also, nothing but roles also. Some roles and subordinates also available over here. Now in this case, now tell me, you know the concept of role. Now tell me, a role can be assigned to how many people? Only one person or multiple persons? Multiple persons. That means role is nothing but a public group, right? Yes. We are having organization. In my organization, how many users are available as of now? 5 users are available. 2 Salesforce licensed users, 3 platform licensed users. That means inside my organization, we are having 5 users are available. That means 5 members are available. So organization is also one of the public group, right? Yes. And then we are having the roles and subordinate. Okay, roles and subordinate over here. In this case, when you go to that roles and subordinate over here, I'm having that role like a CEO. Roles and subordinate means what? This role, and along with that other members available inside this, behind this particular, below this user also. These all are comes under roles and subordinate over here. So roles and subordinate is also one of that public group over here. So that inside your organization is also one of the public group. Role is a public group. Roles and subordinates is also a public group over here. Like the similar way, we can create our own public groups also inside your Salesforce instance. Okay, we can create our own public groups also inside your Salesforce instance. Like whatever the way you are creating the groups inside your WhatsApp or inside your mobiles to add some contacts, like the similar way here also we can able to create some groups which are called as public groups in Salesforce. Then where all these public groups information will be getting resides, all the public groups information will be getting resides inside an object called as group object here. Okay, all the public groups information will be getting resides inside that group object. Group is a standard object in Salesforce which will be having some ID. What is the group object ID? 00G. Okay, group object ID is 00G. Okay, it is a public group over here. Now, whenever you are sharing the record to the multiple users, don't select each and every user manually one by one and make those people as a group. Okay, then share the record to the group itself over here. So in this case, how can we create this public group inside of my Salesforce instance? Where is that navigation is available? Now let me explain practically over here. Okay, now creating the public groups. Okay, now make a note over here. Public group contains a set of users and other subgroups and roles and subordinates. And roles and subordinates. Upon sharing the record to the multiple users, we need to group the people. By creating a public group and share the record. Share the record to the public group. Share the record to the public group, so that upon sharing the record to the public group, then all the group members will be receiving the access on that record automatically by default. Note. All the public groups will get resides inside the group object. Okay, all the public groups information will get resides inside the group object here. Then how can we create a public group in Salesforce? Now let's see practically. Done? So now let's take a small use case. Create a public group with the name Hyderabad Sales Group. By adding the members testing user and customer user. I would like to create a public group over here, where inside that group, they will be having some group members are available here. Now these group members will be the testing user and the customer user will be the group members inside this. Inside a public group, we can have multiple group members may be available. Where this information will store, we'll see practically. How can we create the public group here? In this case, go to the setup menu, go to the administrator menu in the left panel, click on manage users and click on public groups. Okay, click on public groups. From there, click on the new button to create a new public group, specify the group name and the group label. And along with that, we can able to specify that we can select the users to whom you would like to add into the group here. Once the public group has been getting created, at any point of time, we can remove that members from the group also. That possibility is there. A member can be available in the multiple groups also. Okay, a member can be, okay, a person can be available in the multiple groups also. That possibility will be available. Okay. Group will be getting deleted by only by the administrator, not the other people. No, there is no limitation. N number of public groups you can configure that. No, there is no limitation. In a group, we can able to add all the members also as a group member. Okay, there is no limitation like in a group we can have only this many number of people, not like that. Now, let's see how can we create this public group right now. Let's go to your Salesforce instance. Go to the administrator menu in the left panel. Click on manage users. Here you will be having an option called as public groups. Click on these public groups. Now it is indicating that a public group is a set of users. It contains individual users or other groups also, or the users available inside a particular territory or the role also. Okay. Now, I would like to create a public group right now. Click on new button to create a new public group. Specify that label of the group and specify the group name. I'm giving like as Hyderabad Sales Group. Okay. Now here a small checkbox is available here. Grant access using hierarchies. What it means? What this checkbox indicates basically here? Grant access using hierarchies. That means what? Suppose, for example, siblings, okay? Now, in this case, what happened, for example? Inside this public group, I'm adding some members here. How many members? 2 members. Who are all those members here? Users, I'm adding that. So now testing user, I'm adding over here, and then customer user, I'm adding here. Okay? In this public group, I'm adding these 2 members over here. Now from here, I will create a group. Tomorrow, if I'm sharing a record to the public group, then to whom the record should be get visible? Record should be visible to both the people over here as it is. Fine. Then you want to display the record to be visible only to these 2 people or to their subordinates also over here. If you want to share the record to the testing user and the customer user along with their subordinates also over here, at that time select the checkbox by using grant access using hierarchy. That means their managers also can able to see, their subordinates also can see that. But I don't want to make it visible to all the people. I want to share the record only to these 2 people over itself. So that I don't want to grant the hierarchies over here. Unselect the checkbox. That means what? Whenever I'm sharing the record to this public group, now the record should be get visible to that only to the testing user and then the customer user only. Their managers, their subordinates should not be able to access my record over here. I don't want to make it visible to the other people over here. Now click on Save button. Okay. So now one public group we have created over here. Okay, one public group we have created with the name Hyderabad Sales School. Okay, this is a public group. Then where all these public groups information will get resides? What is that object here? Group object here. In order to cross-check, how can we cross-check that public groups information? Let me show you practically here. Note. All the public groups information will get resides inside the group object. Inside the group object. How can we track this information? Let me show you through that query. Okay, now in this case, I am going to be using this information here. Let's go to that developer console. Query the information. Select the ID of that public group, name of the public group, what type of group it is. Why? Because in future, when moving forward, we are going to be discussing about the concept of queues also. At that time, queues information also will be storing inside the group object itself. And the public group's information is also storing inside the group object itself. Then how can we differentiate which one is a public group, which one is a queue? For that one, Salesforce is maintaining one column called as type column over here. If the type value is equals to regular, that means it is a public group. If the type value is equals to queue, then that is a queue. Based on that value, we can able to differentiate over here whether it is a public group or queue. For public groups, type value should be always regular. For queues, the type value should be queue. Okay. Now, let me explain here. So now, I would like to collect from the public group. That means the group object over here. I'm collecting all the groups information. Now it is indicating all the groups information. Each and every group ID will be starting with a 00G. These are nothing but the roles. That means in one role we can have multiple users, so that each and every role is a public group over here. When you come down, roles and subordinates also the public group. And then when you go to the organization, your organization is also a public group, because in a single organization we can have multiple users here. Okay, we have collected a group of users as an organization over there. Now here you will be having your own public group also, Hyderabad Sales Group, which is having the type value as regular. If you want to collect only your public groups which you have configured, then simply we can specify where type equals to regular. Okay, type equals to regular. Yeah. It's a standard group. Organization is a standard group given by Salesforce. So, but all this organization's information will be storing inside your organization object here. Okay. We can collect all the details from the organization object, like select ID, comma name from the organization. From your organization object, we can able to collect your organization details also. This is the idea of my organization, which is starting with a 00D, and this is the name of my organization. We can collect that. Okay. Now, I'm collecting the public groups information. So this is the public group which we have created right now. This is the name of the group, and this is the ID of that public group over here. Okay. Now, no. It won't make it as regular. If you're creating public group, from that public group option, we'll be making the type value as regular here. Okay. Whenever you are creating a public group manually by your own, for your custom public groups, it will be making the type value as regular. Yes, right. It's just an indicator. Okay, whether it is a public group or queue. That's what here. Next. If it is a public group, what the public group contains? Some members, right? Now, where this members information will get resides? All the public groups members information will be getting resides in a separate object called as group member object. Group member is a standard object in Salesforce which will be holding all the members available inside that group over here. Okay? Now, all the members of the group, information will get resides inside the group member object. Then how can we track that? We'll see practically now. All the group members information will be available inside an object called as group member object. It's a standard object maintaining by Salesforce. Okay, how can we track? Now let me show you practically. So we are having this group. This is the idea of the group. Based on this group ID, we can get that associated group members information. So in this case, I would like to collect the group ID column like as your account and contact relationship like the similar way. Based on the group ID, we can fetch. Select the group ID, user or group ID from group member, where group ID equals to, I'm passing that group ID which you have collected. So this is the idea of the group which I have generated, which I have created here. Based on that group ID, I'm collecting that ID of the group and the group members information also. That group member may be either a user, that may be again a subgroup also over here. That's what you will be having a column called as user or group ID column. Now, let's execute it. We can see. So now this is the group ID over here. Okay, this is the group ID that we have. Inside this group, we are having how many members are there? 2 members are there. Now tell me, both are users or both are public groups again? Users. How do you know? 005. So this is a public, these are the users again here. Who is this user? Now I want to cross check that. Just copy this one, verify this. Paste inside your URL over here. Who is this user now? Customer user. Next, the second one. Copy the second user ID. Now, who is this user? Testing user. So whenever I'm creating this public group, we have added 2 members over here. Who is that members? Testing user and customer user. Both we have added. So that both this information will be storing inside your object here. Now, let me place this query. This is the way we can track the information over here. All the public groups information will be getting resides inside your group object. All the group members information will be getting resides inside that group member object over here. These are the various objects are maintaining by Salesforce internally by default. Thank you. Thanks for your time.